Life is precious, and yet we see so many people not believing that and just squandering their lives away. We have record numbers now of depression, mental health issues, and no doubt as we near the end of this pandemic and we start processing what's happened to us, there will be an increase in mental health issues. And what can happen is we have so much as people now that we don't really find ourselves being grateful for anything, because of the fact that everything is instantly on demand. Whenever we want anything, we can just get it now, and it's led to us not really appreciating how beautiful life is and what a miracle it is that we live in. The reasoning behind this video is a couple of weeks ago I had this whole idea of life being precious really brought into sharp focus for me. Go back about a month or so, I went down with a fever, and I rarely tend to get sick. I tend to see myself as quite robust. Maybe I'll have the odd cold, but I don't get sick. And so I end up having this fever, and it just literally, I was bedridden. I couldn't get up. I felt really weak. The only thing I could eat or drink was fruit and water. So I'm lying there in bed, sick, no idea what's happening to me, can't believe I'm going down with this fever, cold sweats, you name it, I've got it. About a week into it, I felt a little bit better, and I decided to go for a walk. And what I thought I'd do is I'd get myself some food. So I've gone down to a local restaurant that I tend to frequent, and I've ordered some food, and I thought to myself, well, what I'll do is I'll take the food away. And also I start feeling kind of not very good. The restaurant owner asks me if I'm well or not, and I'm like, look, I'm fine. So I've gone to get my food and blacked out, and I remember hitting a wall, and then about a minute or so later on being picked up from the floor by two of the waiting staff. I've asked, they've asked, look, do you want us to call an ambulance? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just need some water, and I just need to get home. So I've had a glass of water, and then I've realized that I've literally gone headfirst into a glass door. So I'm talking to the restaurant owner, and I'm really apologetic. I've said, look, I'll pay for any damage, and he's just like, look, we're just, he goes, it's really crazy what's happened, but we're really, in a sense, glad that the door was shut, because had the door been open, you would have gone straight through and hit your head onto the concrete. So I've left the restaurant. I've gone home. What's really interesting is all of a sudden the fever's disappeared, and my head is absolutely killing me, and I've just gone even weaker. So again, I'm lying in bed, doing the very, very bare minimum, with this head injury, not knowing if it's anything serious or not. About a week or two after that, I managed to somehow get the strength to go to the local accident and emergency, where I was checked out, and they were like, look, you're on the mend. Luckily, it wasn't anything too serious. I was reminded of the words of obviously the restaurant owner as well, when he said, look, had the door been open, this could have been so much more serious. And what I'd found is, prior to this accident, I'd recorded some videos about living a balanced life and actually looking at different aspects of my life, and realizing that in these last couple of years, I've been so focused on this work that I've neglected other areas of my life. And thoughts that were coming to me that were what I would consider almost alien. With the fever, and then with the fall as well, and then the head injury, what I found was that all of a sudden everything started to kind of come into place. And I was talking to a dear friend of mine, and she was like, in a sense, almost like you've had a bit of a reset. And like I said, it really brought everything into sharp focus that, hold on, at any moment, life can just take it away from you, had that door been opened, or life can just stop you. Like I said, because of my work, the last 7-8 years have just seen me traveling constantly. I don't take holidays. I'm just always constantly working. What's happened now is that I'm realizing that this really isn't the be all and end all of my life. That although I love making videos and I love talking to people and doing talks, there are other aspects of my life that that have been neglected. And falling like that and getting sick like that has really brought that into sharp focus, that life is absolutely precious, and life is now. And yet we live our lives as if we've got time to do other things, as if tomorrow is guaranteed. Like I said, I see myself as someone quite robust. I see myself as someone who's, quite in charge of his life. And yet life over a period of 4 or 5 weeks just took everything away from me, to the point where I couldn't even get up off of bed, to the point where doing the simplest things required so much energy and so much concentration. I find now that although I'm still on the mend, I'm doing the very bare minimum. I'm really, really, really emphasizing self-care now, and really trying to do things that I want to do. It's also made me really look at my life, my relationships, and even my relationship with this whole idea of spirituality. And I'm finding that balance is really needed, in order to really be able to convey to you what I'm trying to talk about, and also to make sure that other areas of my life aren't neglected. It's been a blessing in disguise, if that makes sense. And no doubt I'm really just trying to explore what's actually happened, with friends who are coming to visit, and through my videos as well. But what I'm finding is there has been this theme of going into balance, and realizing that you're enough, and really about trying to live an authentic life, as an authentic life as humanly possible, and really cutting out the crap and the drama in your life. And I seem to be, after the fall, doing that, and I feel really, really grateful for that. But at the same time, I'm seeing that it's showing me so much more. I remember one of the things that I said to the restaurant owner, when I got up and I was walking, I was like, this wasn't supposed to happen. But maybe it was supposed to happen as a way to slow me down, to make me see what's precious and what's good in my life. So as I said, it's really brought a lot of things into focus for me. It's really changed a lot of what I feel life should be about. It's really made me want to repair the relationships that I've damaged over the last couple of years, in this frenzied attempt to run around the country and talk to people about realization. It's also made me realize that I want a better quality of life as well, and that there really is, no difference between living a spiritual life and living a material life. And I was talking to a very dear friend who's a Sufi, and we were talking. He goes, well, sometimes you do need those creature comforts as well to live your life. Whereas I've been of this opinion that no, it doesn't matter, it's all just this and what have you. So there has been, in a sense, a deepening and an appreciation for this thing called life. And I absolutely feel grateful and blessed that, yes, I was stopped like that in order to take stock of life. And as I said, I'm not really fully conveying what I want to say. And no doubt, as I travel further away from what's happened, it will affect what I'm talking about and what I'm doing as well. I'm also grateful for the fact that so many friends have rallied around me and supported me. One day a friend came to visit, and ended up staying longer than he needed to, and I was so grateful for that. And I'm seeing more and more that true spirituality is really about balance. It's about having those other aspects of your life there as well, about maintaining relationships, about having a good life as well, about being a good person. And it filters through into this. Sometimes we can take really, I remember at the beginning when I was talking, I used to take a real strict non-dual approach. Everything was just happening. And what I find now, that life isn't black and white like that. It's more of a gray area. But there's color there as well. And it's really about just, going through that rainbow, looking at all these different colors and realizing it's one rainbow. So your home life and your work life and your spiritual life are all different aspects of that one rainbow. And it's about being in balance. And it's something I'm emphasizing now in my one-on-ones and in the meetings that I'm doing as well. But I'm also finding now that as I'm really starting to let go and not worry too much about what really happens with all of this, what happens with all these talks, this life that I've been so committed to over the last 7-8 years, that it just seems to come together. I just seem to find the right people and have the right conversation. So I feel very grateful for that. And I feel grateful that life stopped me and just showed me how little I know. It was at times a really humbling experience. It was at times an amazing self-inquiry into who I really am, and I see that there's so much about me that I need to change. And yet I realize that change is occurring in me organically now. I don't need to sit down and write out goals or plan out how my day is going to be or how I'm going to change. had this beautiful conversation with a Sufi who, we were talking about a personal matter, but the bit that he said to me was like, but you're going to have to change. And I remember thinking, how? Like, what do I have to do? But what was really, really beautiful about it is I've noticed that there was a process of change already started that's been going on for months, but then was brought into sharp focus by this fall, and is now speeding up, so to speak. And it's shown me how precious life is, that we only really get this one life, and it's what we do with this. And yes, we can harp on about how, you know, horrible the world is and what conspiracy is going on today, and, you know, how we've been dealt the wrong cards. Or we can really just take this attitude of gratitude and just be really happy with life, and just look for those moments where we're alive. And what we may find is the more we do that, the more we realize that life really is now. It's here and now, and we can live from this place of one. We can live from this place of empowerment because we just live from here. And that's what's been brought into sharp focus for me. And as I said, it's changed a lot of things, and no doubt that will start coming through in my work. But at this moment in time, I feel really grateful to life for what's happened, to my friends, to my family, to everybody who sent me messages. You know, I didn't really feel like posting it all on Facebook and what have you, but it felt important to talk about here that sometimes life will stop us, and it probably, you know, didn't feel right that, hold on, I'm doing all the right things and life has done this to me. But it was such a blessing in disguise. And as I said, it's something that no doubt I won't be going on about this again, like as in, oh, you know, I had this fall and what have you, but I'm sure its impact will come into these videos, into how I'm speaking or what have you. So life is precious. See that, and try to live from that place, and be grateful for however much or little you have, and see life as something that's now. You know, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Had that door been opened, it could have been a completely different story altogether. It could have either been a serious head injury or something so much worse. Start seeing that this ebb and flow is a constant pointer back to this thing called life, and that you're not separate from that life. And when we realize that, we end this whole dance of duality, and we can live from this place of wholeness in which we're truly, truly alive. And that's such a beautiful place to be. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have problems. It doesn't mean that life becomes this blissful experience. It just means there's a real appreciation for what actually is, and we're really seeing life for what it actually is, which is just this beautiful eternal moment. So I think I'll end there. Again, thank you so much to all family and friends who've rallied around me over the last couple of weeks. You know, I feel really grateful that I have such wonderful people in my life, and thank you to everybody, you know, for the feedback and comments and general support of the work I do. I hope I'm doing, you know, a good job. I appreciate your feedback. If there's, like I've said in the past, if there's anything you want me to talk about or what have you, please let me know. But have a wonderful day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching this video.